We Who Will Die by Stacia. Stark welcome to Blurr, a space where stories slow us down, where worlds unfold not in haste, but in feeling. Today, we step into a dark, dangerous, and emotionally charged fantasy world with We Who Will Die. This is not a gentle story. It does not promise safety. It does not comfort easily. Instead, it asks a brutal question right from the start. What if survival itself demanded a piece of your soul? We Who Will Die is a story of power, captivity, resistance, and forbidden connection. It is a tale where life is treated as expendable, where loyalty is fragile, and where love, when it appears, feels dangerous rather than soothing. As we move through this narration, we will explore the plot in a spoiler-safe way, the deeper meaning beneath the violence, the themes that drive the story, what the book does exceptionally well, where it may not work for everyone, and why, despite its darkness, this story lingers long after the final page. So take a breath, settle in, and let this world unfold. Plot summary: the story unfolds. The world of We Who Will Die is harsh from the very beginning. This is a place where strength decides worth, where the weak are used, where survival is not a right, but a temporary privilege. At the center of the story is a young woman who has learned one truth early in life: obedience keeps you alive, but it also erases you. She is not a chosen one. She is not protected by prophecy. She is not powerful in the way fantasy heroes usually are. She is simply someone trying to endure. Circumstances force her into a brutal system where human beings are treated as tools, trained, controlled, and discarded when no longer useful. Life is transactional. Pain is normalized. Death is expected. What makes this story compelling is that the heroine does not begin with rebellion in her heart. She begins with fear, with caution, with the quiet intelligence of someone who knows that loud defiance gets you killed. But survival comes with a cost. As she navigates this violent hierarchy, she is pulled into the orbit of figures who hold power, dangerous, commanding, and morally complex individuals who are neither purely villain nor hero. Among them emerges a relationship that is tense, slow-burning, and deeply complicated. This is not love at first sight. This is trust built inch by inch, often breaking before it heals. It is attraction mixed with fear, connection tangled with control. As political forces tighten, betrayals surface, and violence escalates, the heroine is forced to confront an impossible choice. Is staying alive enough if it means losing who you are? By the time the story reaches its later stages, survival is no longer the only goal. Identity, autonomy, and moral agency come into play. The stakes become not just physical, but existential. What this story is really about, on the surface, We Who Will Die is a dark fantasy filled with danger, power struggles, and romance under pressure. But beneath that, the story is about coercion. It is about what happens when people are stripped of choice and how they adapt. This book explores how systems of violence justify themselves, how power disguises cruelty as necessity, and how people learn to survive within oppression without losing their humanity. The heroine's journey is not about becoming invincible. It is about reclaiming agency in a world that profits from her silence. The romance is not there to soften the story. It complicates it. It forces questions like, can love exist where power is uneven? Can trust grow in a system built on fear? And when survival depends on obedience, what does consent truly mean? This is what the story is really asking us to sit with. The central theme of We Who Will Die is survival versus selfhood. Not survival in a heroic sense, but survival as endurance, as compromise, as quiet calculation. The book repeatedly asks, how much of yourself can you give away before there's nothing left? At what point does surviving become a slower form of dying? And what is the cost of choosing dignity in a world that punishes it? Other powerful themes weave through the narrative: power and control, moral ambiguity, trauma and adaptation, the slow emergence of resistance, love as both risk and refuge. Nothing is simple here. Even the characters you care about make choices that feel uncomfortable. And that discomfort is intentional. The best part of the book, the strongest aspect of We Who Will Die, is its emotional realism. Despite being set in a fantasy world, the emotional responses feel deeply human. Fear doesn't vanish overnight. Trauma doesn't heal because of romance. Strength is inconsistent and fragile. The protagonist's inner voice is especially powerful. Her calculations, her doubts, her quiet observations. She survives not by being fearless, but by being aware. The romantic tension is another standout. It is layered, restrained, and often unsettling in the best way. Instead of fantasy idealization, we get something raw and complicated. And finally, the pacing, slow where it needs to be, intense when it matters, allows the story to breathe without losing momentum. Where the book may not work for everyone, this is not a comfortable read. If you are looking for light fantasy, fast wish fulfillment romance, clear heroes and villains, or emotionally safe storytelling, this book may feel heavy. The world is violent, power dynamics are uncomfortable, the emotional tone is dark and sustained. Some readers may find the lack of immediate empowerment frustrating. Others may struggle with the moral grayness of the characters, and that's okay. This book does not try to please everyone. It tries to be honest within its chosen darkness. Who should read or listen to this book? This story is for readers who enjoy dark fantasy with emotional depth, listeners drawn to slow burn, tension-filled romance, those interested in stories about power, control, and resistance, and anyone who appreciates morally complex characters. If you liked stories where survival comes before heroism, where love grows under pressure rather than comfort, and where strength looks quiet before it looks loud, this book is for you. Why this book is worth your time, We Who Will Die stays with you. Not because of spectacle, but because of the questions it leaves behind. It makes you think about the systems we accept, the compromises we normalize, and the quiet resilience required to reclaim oneself. It reminds us that courage is not always rebellion. Sometimes, courage is endurance with awareness, until the moment comes to choose differently. In a genre crowded with invincible protagonists, this story dares to be vulnerable, and that is its power. Final thought: as we come to the end of this journey into We Who Will Die, one feeling remains clear. This is not a story you simply finish. It is a story you carry. It lingers in the quiet moments, in the questions it leaves behind, in the uneasy recognition of how close fiction can feel to truth. This book reminds us that survival is not always loud or heroic. Sometimes it is silent, sometimes it is compromised, and sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is refuse to disappear, no matter how powerful the world around them becomes. Thank you for spending this time with Blurr, a place where stories are not rushed and meaning matters as much as plot. If this story moved you, challenged you, or made you think, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. Did the themes resonate with you? Did the characters feel uncomfortably real? Or did the story leave you questioning survival, power, or love in a new way? Your comments are not just feedback. They are part of the story's afterlife. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And until the next story unfolds,